Hello, everyone. I'm Heng Wang. I'm a professor of law at Singapore Management University, and I'm talking a paper together, with Simin of Tsinghua University. We see increased use of the or development of digital currency, and what will digital currencies mean for international financial system, like U.S. dollars, and other reserve currencies. So this is an article we published at the Regulation Governance, and here you can see the open access. Here we talk about the central bank digital currency called CBDC, which is a digital form of fiat currency. That it has been explored by many jurisdictions. The possible digital euro, digital dollar, or you already see the pilot of China's digital yuan. It's a kind of game changer or challenger for existing financial system because it will build a new ecosystem. And it's a fiat currency likely to be used by wide range of actors, including possibly the general public. So the question we have is that for the CBDC, what the network would look like, how it will affect international financial system, like the reserve currencies of thinking about U.S. dollars and others. So here we see that the CBDC network, in terms of its structure, we argue that it looks like a decentralized network, because they don't really have a centralized central currency in the CBDC stage, or it's difficult for us to see a equally distributed spread of the CBDCs in the international system. Instead, we'd like to see a CBDC network which is a decentralized one, means there's different groups of actors. Each group will like to be a cluster. And within it, you will see, like-minded central banks, may interact more with each other. So we like to see small groups of the CBDCs, and they interact with other groups. And such interaction may include, flow of money, or there could be a flow of the information. And then, what will be the policy diffusion? Because we're thinking about network effects. One major one, a major aspect is a policy diffusion, which means that if one country issue its CBDC and they have this regulation, they may affect other countries. But here we like to see that it's unlikely to have a convergence of policies, because different countries have different approaches and consideration of CBDC. And in particular, they have two aspects. One is about learning, and also you have another aspect which is about adaptation. Let's first look at learning. So here learning means that it's very common for the state to learn from each other. So it can share information, they can have competition of ideas. But here you also have serious challenges. As we see in other networks, the information flow may be manipulated because states may have different position, or they may have different considerations. So the flow of information remain to be seen. Another point is about adaptation. So here means that if one country have issued CBDC, that will affect other countries' behavior. And also the key issue here is that states may behave instrumentally. Means that you pay more attention to the position of your currency in the international system than the policy's direct benefits. Another point is about cooperation and conflicts. We like to see cooperation to solve many issues like the principles of CBDC. On the other hand, we still like to see a potential conflict, because different countries may not necessarily have the same motivation. They may not have the same trade-off. For example, in issue like the balance between efficiency and privacy protection, they may cause some issues. And now let's look into what are the implications for international finance. And we think that CBDC may move the international financial system from a centralized system to a flat one, at least possibly to some extent. So here we see that CBDC may affect power imbalances, because CBDC network is likely to be different from existing financial system, which US dollar and the like play a centralized role. It's a centralized system, while CBDC is a decentralized system, so they may affect current international financial system. And the reserve currencies may be repositioned because of the demands change, technology development, and possible shift to CBDC system. So we like to see a multipolar system. And also we like to see uncertainties. So for example, on one hand, CBDC network is kind of decentralized, but on the other hand, there's a need for strong governance because you need to address issues like how do you coordinate internationally, for example, the possible use of CBDC and how to deal with digital identity, and that needs an international coordination. And also the resource flow, how will that be controlled by one or more nodes, or how do we coordinate those preferences behind CBDCs? There are a lot of uncertainties. And finally, let's look at what can be done. It's important actually in international financial system to avoid potential conflicts or lose-lose outcome or race to the bottom. And we like to see possible regulatory competition. That means we see regulation, cooperation, but also we like to see the regulatory competition happening at the same time. The rules need to think, in the long term, developed with a foresight, like issue like sustainable development, like issue of dispute settlements, and so on and so forth. Essentially, the trust among the actors of states is crucial. So you need to have a credible signaling, sharing information, and also actions that can signal genuine intent of collaboration. In the future, the CBDC network would like to enable or constrain actors, and the actors may also, in turn, affect the network. So it's a moving target that we need to closely watch it. And thank you very much for your attention. As you see here, you can download it, and also you can find our email address. Your comments, if any, are very warmly welcome. And we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.